You're gay! Hello and welcome back, Ravers. It is season 4, episode 5 of Gay Rave, and I am the Gabby L. I am so happy that we're back. We have so much to talk about. Also, can I just say, did I predict Mom Donnie's win? Or did I predict it? I know that all the polls were saying that it was going to happen, and we were like basically absolutely sure of it, but I was still right. And a win's a win. Not for nothing, but like the highest voter turnout in like half a century. Mom Donnie himself got over 1 million votes. Absolute slay. I am so happy that that smiling young man, the one good man, is going to be our future mayor. I'm so excited. And then in his acceptance speech, just watching him take a dump on Andrew Cuomo live on stage was just like absolutely amazing. The way that he was shading Cuomo, like, may this be the last time I speak his name. I was like, damn, that's crazy. And him saying, a wise man once said, while you campaign in poetry, you govern in prose. And if that must be true, let the prose we write still rhyme and let us build a shining city for all. And that was Mario Cuomo, Andrew Cuomo's dad. So it actually it was just so sweet to see not only Cuomo lose, but Mom Donnie fully just absolutely ruin his whole life in the acceptance speech. Um, that was special. And I'm excited for the future. Everyone is, threatening to leave the city. But I'm sort of like, if all the people who threatened to leave actually left, we would have housing. Like, we'd be okay. Like, if they want to go, I would actually be cool with that. Like, I think that'd be fine. But if they stay, I am excited to see what he's able to do. Listen, I know it's going to be hard. And the gag of his acceptance speech, like, it would have been a time for him to like, potentially temper the expectations, being like, I know it might be difficult, or, I've got to work across the aisle or work with Albany, blah, blah, blah. But nope, nope. He was like, the expectations are high and I will meet them. I'm like, yes, King. Why am I paying $2.90 to just get on the subway one way? But the Brady Bunch family had 8 people in their blended family on one salary, and he was an architect. You know what? I've been thinking about the Brady Bunch actually. The fact that, first of all, this was in the 70s. The Brady Bunch was in the 70s. And the father had 3 children, the mother had 3 kids, and then they got married. So the fact that in the 70s we're doing blended family, hello. Okay. I know that the father was widowed, but I don't think they ever really mention like the mother situation. I'm going to presume that the husband died, but apparently there's like some references to like her being divorced. Like, imagine platforming a divorced woman in the 70s. Slay. But back to what I was saying. 6 kids. The mother is a homemaker, the father's an architect, and they were all just living in that nice house with the sunken living room. Not for nothing, things need to change. And listen, I'm not trying to go back in time. I don't think that the best years are behind us, but I would like to say there is no way in Jeff Bezos' America, in our Lord and Savior Donald Trump's America, that that would ever be happening. So you know what? Let's just take the win for what it is and see what happens. I'll continue paying my 290 and hopefully life will get easier in the future. All right? All right, moving on. In other good news, we have a new Sexiest Man Alive 2025, and it's actually someone I can agree with. And you probably can too. Because why? Gay. Hi, gay. Jonathan Bailey is the Sexiest Man Alive this year. And honestly, I'm with it. Like, I am absolutely with it. I know that he's sort of like up and coming in like the it boy moment. He had his Bridgerton moment, but then, being in Wicked as Fiero and then being in Jurassic Park or whatever, and he's in all these movies, I'm like, yes, little heartthrob. And yes, he is gay, but I think that he's actually like, the moms like him. I think the only way that he could possibly win is if like the Rust Belt moms think he's like a zaddy. So he's doing it for them as well. He's kind of got the best of both worlds here, not to quote Hannah Montana, but I do think there's something there. The last couple, let me walk you through these last couple Sexiest Men Alive, and then we're just going to have to talk about it. So last year was John Krasinski of The Office fame. And Alina was saying that it's very like politically coded because he was like Jack Reacher and these like strong man militant type acting at the time. And so that was very like sign of the times, very Republican coded. And I was like, actually, yes. Cooking on that. So the last one was John Krasinski, which surprises me that that was happening in the year 2024. But okay, feels like we're a little late in the game for that. The one before was Patrick Dempsey, very like prime time Grey's Anatomy coded, also years after he died on Grey's Anatomy. And I do not want to hear that I spoiled that for you. That's been years in the making. Okay, years in the making. The one before that, Chris Evans. And the one before that, Paul Rudd. Listen, they were on their Avengers wave. This was big time, Avengers, Endgame, whatever. But Paul Rudd and Chris Evans, Patrick Dempsey, John Krasinski, men in their 40s, like, I get it. 40s, 50s, yada, yada. But I just feel like, why is our sexiest man these old men? Like, is it, and not to be like, old men aren't hot, but like, you would not catch them picking women in their 40s and 50s for the sexiest woman alive. You know what I'm saying? So what we're saying is that, Timothy Chalamet is not the sexiest man alive because he's kind of like young and he's kind of scrawny coated. But these older 40, 50 salt and pepper men, like those are the ones who we're giving credit to. But if we were to pick a sexiest woman alive, it would have to be like fucking, I don't know, Kendall Jenner, like fucking Sydney Sweeney or something like that. It's gonna piss me off. These people in their 20s. All I'm saying is I'm hating it. I'm hating it. The last time I can get on board with the sexiest man alive was 2020 when it was, say it with me, Michael B. Jordan. And that just makes sense. I was looking at the people who were nominated for the Sexiest Men Award over time, and like George Clooney and Brad Pitt are on there multiple times. Johnny Depp on there twice. Okay. A lot of folks had multiple, three peats even. Ben Affleck was on there. Since when? Since when? And I will never forget what they did when they made Blake Shelton the sexiest man alive. I was like, we're in Trump's America now. Oh my God. Gwen Stefani, traitor. Traitor. You used to be cool. You used to be in a band. Okay, whatever. Moving on. Speaking of shit that is washed and played and not lit, Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney is in that lesbian boxing movie right now called Christy. And I think the marketing's actually just going bad because I didn't even know it was coming out last weekend, but it did have like the worst opening weekend ever. It was the worst opening weekend for a wide release film ever. Not amazing. And so the movie is about Christy Martin, who was like, defying the odds to become one of the most well-known boxers in the world when women weren't really taken seriously in the sport. And her coach turned husband tried to fucking kill her in 2010. And then she became this huge advocate for domestic abuse survivors. And then, after her whole career in the closet, having to fight all the gender stereotypes in boxing, having to almost get murdered by her fucking husband, then she finally comes out with her former rival in the ring named Lisa as a lesbian. So now they're together and they've been together since 2017. So she went through all this just to have a movie made up about her, Flops McGee, played by Sydney Sweeney, the reverse ally. Damn, she is getting played every single step that she takes. Christy, I am so sorry to you. And this goes out to, this is an early I'm sorry. I am sorry to you, Christy. You do not deserve this. Sydney Sweeney has had so many chances to actually be a good person. And she's like, no, I'm good. The fact that she is with Scooter Braun, another notorious villain, I saw on Twitter, someone was like, Sydney Sweeney and Scooter Braun is a spiritually Israeli relationship. I thought that was so fucking funny. So to do promo for this movie, she did a GQ interview and it's like on video and it's in the magazine. And the interviewer's like, the jeans ad, you were in jeans and it was like, Sydney Sweeney has good genes in the political climate. Like, what do you have to say about it? And she was like, I really wear jeans a lot. Like I'm always in jeans on a t-shirt. And, when I saw that happening, I just sort of like put my phone away, just like block it all out. I'm just like, I guess. So like Trump's endorsement, like you're chill with that. Okay, moving on. The interviewer goes harder. The interviewer's like, okay, like, well now you have a chance to address, what the message was in this political climate. Like, is there anything that you want to say in response to all the feedback about it? She goes, I think that when I have an issue I want to speak about, people will hear. We heard you, babe. We even hear when you don't have fucking issues you want to speak about. So apparently, all of your businesses are fucking business now. The fact that she came out is as a Republican in her 2024 voter registration. Oh my god! Breaking news: water is wet. Breaking news: beep 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 beep. The sky is blue. I just cannot. It just feels like we're walking into the point we already knew. Okay. Oh god, this is what happens when you're blonde with big boobs. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't mean that. I don't mean that. You're washed. You're washed right now. So Sydney Sweeney, you're so out for me. Zeros across the board, flunks, thumbs down, tomato, tomato. Moving on. Other current events. Grammy nods are out for 2026. I am so excited. This shit had me falling off my chair. I was just like, one by one, my jaw was getting lower and lower and lower because how are we ever going to pick from these things? First of all, record of the year, Debbie Tirar Más Fotos is up against Subway, is up against Doechii and Kendrick and SZA and Billy. First of all, and Abracadabra? My gay ass, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? The fact that, first of all, the song itself, DTMF by Bad Bunny, is such a beautiful song. Like, the message is very beautiful. Like, when you listen to the song, it's just like very moving. The Subway, I don't even have to fucking say it. I've been crying to that song for fucking months. I was listening to the pre-recordings on YouTube before she even released it. It's a depression Grammys, baby. Okay? So all I'm saying is baddies are in the lineup. All this music is amazing. We've had a banner year. All right, absolutely banner year. How are they even going to decide? You know what? If I was a Grammy voter, I might say, you guys, I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. These contestants are too good, and I just simply can't vote. Might have to abstain, but I probably wouldn't because I would definitely I would figure it out. But nonetheless, if I did have the honor of being able to vote, I think I would probably make a decision because it's my job. It would be my job to make a decision. And so therefore I would probably have to go based on the criteria, and I would look up the criteria, and then I would listen to everything and make an ultimate decision. But it would be really hard, obviously, because competition's really good. Moving on. A couple other highlights. Best pop duo performance, Defying Gravity is up. Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande are nominated. Yeah, you're gay. Also, how am I going to decide who to vote for versus Gabriella by Cat's Eye, my namesake? Hands up, Gabriella. Gabriella. That okay, Cat's Eye really came out of nowhere for me personally, and I haven't watched or learned almost anything about them, but they are just like six cute, sexy, hot young women doing their little thing. And I love that little Gap ad they did. They did like a jeans ad themselves because they're like a diverse young women group as like a not a retaliation to the Sydney Sweeney thing, but like sort of around the same time to like prove a point, probably about diversity and jeans. And I was living for it. Moving on. Dance pop recording is where we actually need to have a conversation. Tens across the board. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Let me list for you the nominees for dance pop recording at the Grammys. Ready? First, Bluest Flame. I don't like to give Selena Gomez much credit, but I will give it to her here. Bluest Flame is a banger. Her and her husband, Benny whatever, fine. All right. Abracadabra, banger. Midnight Sun, Zara Larson, what I just say last week, banger. Just Keep Watching, Tate McRae, I'm gonna have to call banger on this one as well. I am gonna have to call banger. And I know that's for the movie F1 because apparently F1 is a thing that everyone cares about now. And then the last nominee, Illegal by Pink Pantheress. Are you joking me? I've never heard better songs in my life. And I realize I just might really like dance pop recordings, but how are they going to choose? How are they going to choose? These are all absolute bangers. So I will have to say, I think they got those nominees right. A couple other things they got right. First of all, best rock album, My Queens of Haim, nominated. T. Did I think they were nominated in rock? Wouldn't have guessed rock. Happy for them though. Happy for them. Also, best alternative performance. Oh my god. Wet Leg is up against Bon Iver. Yeah, I'm gonna say it like that. I'm gonna say it like an asshole. Up against Haley Williams. What is a woman to do? What is a woman to do? And also, can I just say one really quick thing? Why is Chris Brown nominated for a Grammy for best R&B performance? Why is he doing this? Why is he performing? Why are we supporting him? I feel as if we don't go as hard with the Chris Brown doxing. He's doxed in my circles, of course. I used to be a Chris Brown fan. Fame? Double platinum in my household. Okay. But we put it below like the Michael Jackson, the R. Kellys, the P. Diddy's of it all. But why? Why not? We should be going harder. And did The Office put that fucking song Forever in The Office? That famous wedding scene after the whole Rihanna thing? Oh my God, I'm going to have to look this up because it's going to piss me off. Nonetheless, I do feel people do not go as hard as I do for other very bad men in music, but I feel like we should be going harder. Like, we should not be forgetting what happened. Okay. Moving on, rave reviews. Huge news actually today on this day, November 10th, on the Monday I'm recording this. The Supreme Court. Oh, thank you, Supreme Court. You did one thing right. They actually denied Kim Davis's request to overturn same-sex marriage, or essentially Kim Davis, that bitch Kim Davis. See you in hell, Kim, alongside Dick Cheney. She requested for them to revisit the same sex marriage case, and they said, nope, we're not going to do it. And I said, yay. I'm sure there's a lot of reasons to still be worried, but this is at least, once again, another win that we can at least enjoy for the fleeting moment. And not for nothing, we don't talk about this, and I think it gets lost in the sauce a little bit, but like what Obergefell v. Hodges was about, it was a bunch of smaller cases that were taking place in lower courts, but it was the symbolic case that I think they always refer to when same-sex marriage was sort of legalized in 2015. But it's about a man who was married to another man, and his husband was dying, and he wasn't able to be the benefactor for his dying husband or the person to help make medical decisions on behalf of his husband because the state didn't recognize their partnership. So that's what this was about. So when you actually boil it all down, I know this is huge for rights for LGBTQ people, but it's about the systems in place that stop us from being able to experience those freedoms. So yes, it's great to feel this way, but I haven't actually been limited in my ability to live the life I want to live to date. But there are actual real repercussions for people, and I just want to place us there in the world we live in and with this win and say people who are actually experiencing real repercussions and will and could potentially experience real repercussions from it being revisited or overturned, we always have to keep them in mind first. Okay. Moving on to grave reviews. And the grave review is going to have to be, let me think. Tom Brady cloning his fucking dog. So, Tom Brady, I'm not even going to describe who Tom Brady is because if you don't know who Tom Brady is, we're just going to have a bigger problem here. Okay, he was a quarterback for the Patriots for a lot of years. Okay, there you go. He fumbled a baddie, Gisele Bündchen, and he kisses his kids on the mouth. That's all you have to know about Tom Brady. This is the gay sort of summary of Tom Brady. All right, you don't need ChatGPT. This is it. You have Gab GPT. Okay, so his dog Lua died in 2023 publicly. He was posting about it. Gisele was posting about it. The kids were posting about it. He was kissing his kids about it. All these things were happening. They were like, R.I.P. Lua, we miss you, we love you. Then he comes out with this new dog, Junie. And just last week, he says publicly that Junie is not a new dog as much as it is just a clone of Lua. Because a company that he invests in, a bioscience company, the same day that he announces that Junie is Lua's clone, this bioscience company announced that they're acquiring two new companies that do the same thing, sort of like dog cloning or animal cloning. Isn't that so fun? I really I can't believe that people on Snap are not able to eat or feed their kids. And Tom Brady's like, I would get a different dog, but I'd just rather have my old dead dog instead. Not its child. No, that dog. That's the dog I want. Fuck them dogs in the shelter. I don't even want to shop, adopt, don't shop type shit. I don't even want to shop. I don't even want a purebred type shit. I want my old dog. You got too much money, King. So the gag is that other celebrities actually have done this in the past. So there's precedent for this. Barbara Streisand, back in 2017, one of these companies that's being scooped up by the Tom Brady investment cloned Barbara Streisand's dog, Samantha, who passed away. First of all, Barbara Streisand having a dog named Samantha, she's not just a funny girl in the theater. Am I right? Am I right? Moving on. And so also Paris Hilton's dog named Diamond Baby ran away or was lost in 2022, went missing. And so they cloned Diamond Baby into two puppies. The point is, Paris Hilton's dog Diamond Baby didn't even die. The original Diamond Baby was never confirmed dead. It just went missing. So the original Diamond Baby 1 is probably out here living the plot of Mickey 17 right now, while there's two other ones, two twin puppies, Diamond Baby 2 and Diamond Baby 3, who are alive, clones, genetic clones of the first one, and that's fucking weird, and I don't know why this is happening. Lord, Lord save us. There's three Diamond Babies. Oh my god, you guys. I don't know what to do with this information except for tell you and scream about it. And you know what? When I was in business school and I was in this class and we were talking about the global impacts of the CRISPR. The CRISPR is the technology used to edit people's DNA or edit the DNA of like embryos, right? And we were talking about the risks and how in the scientific community, like everyone in the scientific community has agreed to not do gene editing on humans or like human subjects because of the impact it can have on the world. Like, think about it. You start editing things out of DNA, are you creating like a master race, for example? Like, then where does the line drawn? If you start editing things out, what are you editing out? Like, the first example that was used on humans was the editing out of the ability to get HIV. I think the mother was HIV positive, and so they edited the embryos of her unborn children to not have the gene that would allow them to contract HIV. So it wasn't even like the editing or the adding of DNA to create a different child. It was the removing of a component that would not make them susceptible to the disease. Interesting test case. That doctor went to prison. I also am just like, low key, this is an amazing side project of mine. Like, I am very obsessed with this and like very curious about gene editing. So there's like somatic and there's germline gene editing. And like one of them is like, does your kid have freckles? Does it have blue eyes? And the other one is like, are they athletic? Are they smart? That's kind of crazy. So in my class, the teacher was like, if you had enough money, would you genetically edit your embryos to make them incapable of having certain mutations, like having cancer in the future, like being able to contract diseases or having some of the like familial DNA that you pass on. So say for example, you have alcoholism in your family, or you have heart disease in your family, or you have dwarfism in your family. Like, would you edit that out for your future child? And like 90% of people were like, yes, of course. If I had the money, yes, I would set my kid up for success. And I'm like, this is not the point of the class. Like, the point is that we don't actually want to create a master race, and we don't want the people with the most resources to actually have genetically better chances, which they already have. Like, people with the most money already have better chances of success because they have more money. If you get cancer and you're rich, you have the access to the best healthcare. Therefore, the likelihood that you live and succeed and live a long, happy life is already higher. But now, the fact that you don't even have the ability to get cancer gives you all these other opportunities and all these other chances. Like, your life doesn't get totally turned upside down by a diagnosis. You don't have to go to certain doctors. You don't have to worry about certain things. That is fucking crazy. That is crazy. And I know that we've deviated from the Tom Brady subject, but I'm circling back to him. Why are you cloning your dog? I feel as if you need to go to therapy. Like, men would rather clone their dog than heal from the loss of their dog. Like, they would rather clone their dog than go to therapy. That is crazy. How are you going to get divorced from Giselle and clone your dog in the same year? That's crazy. There is something wrong. Okay. Moving on. Can I say something? I recently lost my phone in a lift for the first time, and I need to tell you about it because it was actually a relatively good experience. So I was in a lift It was after karaoke, and I knew the second I got out of that car, I didn't have my phone on me. Why? Because the phone is fucking glued to my hand. All right, this is my problem. So I knew the phone wasn't on my person. I was dressed like Justin Bieber. I don't know. Okay. So I'm like, okay, phone's gone. I don't have access to find it. I'm just gonna figure it out tomorrow. Go to bed, wake up the next morning, and then I'm like, okay, let me try to figure this out. What's great about Apple, not to shout out Apple, but if you go into and you sign into your iCloud and you mark your phone like lost, you can enter a message that shows on your phone that says, like, if you find this phone, dial this number and tell them it's lost. And it will shut down everything. Like, it'll shut down all of your cards in your wallet. It'll shut down the camera. It won't let anyone do anything. Even if you find your phone, you have to go back into iCloud and mark it found and then put in your password and then open it and then reactivate everything. So it really does lock shit down, which is like low key very, very clutch. So that was a really good thing that I finally officially did. So I find my phone. Oh, it turns on low power mode also, which tries to preserve the battery. I see my phone is in Bay Ridge. All right. And I'm like, okay, how do I get into the Lyft app? Because the Lyft app is on the aforementioned phone, which is in Bay Ridge. And I'm on my fuck ass iPad. My fuck ass iPad, which I fucking hate. I've had this iPad for probably 10 years, barely functions. Barely functions. I'm pretty sure I pay for cellular data on this iPad, but been paying $15 a month for years. Can't not even use it because there's no more storage left on it. Can't even barely open the internet on that fucking fuck ass iPad. And yet here I am trying to text message and trying to activate my fucking phone from this fuck ass iPad. So I finally get, if you Google Lyft.com, Google Lyft.com. If you go to Lyft.com and you put in your last ride, like what was the phone number associated with it and where was the last ride, then it will pull it up and say, is this your ride? And then you say yes or no. And then you can message the driver right from there, like without access to the phone or the device that you logged into. Also incredible. It's almost as if this has happened in Lyft before. It does charge you $20 for like a lost phone fee, but who fucking cares? So I messaged the driver and he doesn't get back to me for a long fucking time. I was like, I know this isn't Bay Ridge. I could run up on him. If I am carrying, imagine me carrying my iPad through Bay Ridge, like I see you're here, I know you're here. So you can also ping your phone from the fuck ass iPad and it can make sound. So I'm pinging it, pinging it, pinging it. I'm like, this guy is going to find out. And the ride that I got was pretty late. So I'm like, maybe he's still sleeping. He finally gets back to me and he's like, okay, the phone has been found. He gives me his home address. Abdel Rahim, I am not going to your home address. I hate to tell you this. And so I was like, okay, what can I do? He's like, well, I'll start doing rides again at like 5 p.m., but there's no guarantee it'll come near your house. So like you can always come get it. And I was like, I'm not going to your house. What should I do? So then I am acting as a Knights of the fucking Round Table in a battle of 10 paces. Like, okay, I'll meet you off the end at 44th and 7th, the northwest corner. So I'm over here standing, taking a train to Bay Ridge in the middle of the fucking day on a Friday for 90 minutes. Well, it was 90 minutes total. The train was only like 30 minutes. So I'm standing outside here. A car pulls up. First of all, you think I remember what this car looks like? You think the Lyft messaging told me what his car looked like? Absolutely not. So I'm sitting on the sidewalk looking like a fucking idiot, got a big ass iPad out. Like, girl, what are you doing? A car pulls up and goes, phone? I said, Abdel Rahim, why are you pulling up to the sidewalk talking to random girls saying phone? Yes, it's my phone. But Jesus Christ, if I was any random girl, I'd be like, yeah, sure, I'll take this phone. So I get the phone back. Fine. I turn everything back on. Everything went great. Everything went according to plan. Nothing went wrong. But anything could have happened. I am imagining a world in which any one of those steps went wrong. I want to say shout out to the moon and the stars. Everything worked in my favor. I am so thrilled. I hate to say it, but my fuck ass iPad did help me. And that's the one instance, that's the one time I'll ever say it. And I will never treat my phone badly again. But now you know, if you ever do lose your phone in a Lyft, you can Google your like phone number and your last ride. You can message the driver from the internet, and you should go into your iCloud. So write down your fucking iCloud password. I know you don't know your iCloud password. Write down your iCloud password and make sure that you know, and you can get into it from someone else's phone, a fuck ass iPad, or a computer, so that way you can turn it off. Hello, Apple and Lyft. Apple and Lyft mentioned. Shout out in the chat. Moving on. So I'm sorry goes out to this new show called All's Fair. And it's a show with Kim Kardashian starring. It's about a bunch of lawyers, but there's also like heavy hitters in this show. Niecy Nash, Naomi Watts, fucking Sarah Paulson, Glenn Close. And it is created by Ryan Murphy, the creator of like Glee, American Horror Story, yada yada. And it is getting absolutely panned. Like a 4% on Rotten Tomatoes. I am so sorry to these women, like actual actors. And here are some of the reviews, which I just couldn't help myself. Okay, one of them goes, All's Fair makes every single Tyler Perry project look like Shakespeare. Another one. If All's Fair were a law case, it would be thrown out for lack of evidence, of talent, script, or direction. Kim Kardashian gives a performance so wooden it can qualify for deforestation credits. The dialogue sounds like it was written by an AI trained on a bad soap opera. Oh my God. Well, I'm sorry to them, but also I've heard that it's supposed to be camp and supposed to be cheeky and funny and silly, and people are taking it too seriously. In another serious bout of irony, Kim Kardashian, who plays a lawyer on TV, did take the bar and got her results back as the show was releasing, and she did not pass the bar. So I am sorry to her. Humbling. Humbling, I'm sure. I do think this woman who like has so much fucking money still hasn't cloned a dog that we're aware of, but her going back for her law degree after she's scamming us all with these fake bush underwear, etc., and not passing the bar, it doesn't feel good, but it does help to know that all the money in the world still couldn't get her to pass the bar. Okay? So there's something there. There's something there. And I have not passed the bar. I am not a lawyer. And I don't think I could either. But that's what we have in common, Kim and I. Also, have you seen Kris Jenner's 70th birthday party? She just had her 70th birthday party, and like the theme was 0070. And she, of course, got this like the Lindsay Lohan facelift and looks like fucking crazy. She looks like Kim Kardashian. And it pissed me off. They got Oprah. They got Oprah. Okay? You got Oprah fucking smiling next to Bezos. I don't know. I don't like this. This whole like wealth porn shit is too much for me. Just going back to the lawyer thing quickly, I feel like in my early 20s, people should be like, oh, you should have been a lawyer. Like, but people only say that when they know you're like really fucking annoying. If you're being really annoying, that's when people start to say, you ever thought about being a lawyer? Or you should have been a lawyer, or you should go back to law school. That is your sign to self-reflect and say, am I being annoying? Answer, yes. Okay. Song of the week is All Pays Do Cocaine by Geese, and essentially that 3-song run after that as well. Taxes, another big Geese song that I'm obsessed with, and you need to listen. It's fucking fire. It's beautiful. It's sad. His voice is incredible. This is Cameron Winter, who Love Takes Miles from a couple weeks ago, is the lead singer, and this band Geese, you know, everyone, what's his face? Who's that Irish actor? Syrian, you know who I'm talking about. He said he liked it too. So you know what? One thing him and I have in common, liking Geese. Okay. So that is your pod for the week. It was super long and full of dumb shit as per usual. And we'll be back again to do it next week. Okay. I'm sorry for my little sick voice. I'm just such a baby girl, but I'm so happy that we did this. I will see you next week. I miss you already. What the fuck? But this has been Gay Rave. I'm the Gabby L, and the L stands for, say it with me, love you. Bye.
That's what she said. And you know what? What was that? Okay, James.